G'day guys, welcome back to Fat Fords and episode 29 on the XB Coupe build. If you watched the last episode, you remember that I ended off saying that I was going to be trimming these guards down to the level of the sill, or the upper side of the sill. So what I've done is I put the sill cap on and marked along here so that I'll cut that, and we'll end up with a seam that'll run all the way from the front to the back. But instead of taking the guard off, originally I was going to take it off and I was going to make the modifications, but I just decided that while I still had the guard and the bonnet and everything on the car and everything's lined up right, because I've got all my gaps good, is I thought I'd do something about these eyebrow molds. Now those of you that know the XB Coupe and XC Coupe would know that these have a I don't know what it's called, like die cast aluminium or something, but it's just like a rubbish alloy, and that gets bolted to the front of the guard, and then you've obviously got that seam where they join. I've never really been a fan of that, and so because on this car I'm modifying so many things, I thought I'd do something about it. So what I'm going to be doing in this episode is making up a replica of one of these just out of sheet metal, and then that way I'll be able to weld it straight to the car and then plenish it all, and then it'll all just become one. And then also what I'm going to do once I've done those two, I don't know if I'm going to have enough time in this episode, but once I've done those two, I'm going to be adding a cap onto the front of this to match into the eyebrows. So this being a bonnet off a Mach 1 Mustang, it's obviously slightly different. They had also some sort of die cast aluminium strip on the front of them as well, so I'm going to have to finish it off with sheet metal to match into these eyebrows. So anyway, that's what we're going to be doing this week, so I hope you enjoy, and let's get on with it.
He's going to do it anyway. He's going to say, what did they put it here for? You just got to eliminate the reasons why
Got to eliminate all the possible complaints.
Because then you only get one a day.
Yeah, you won't eliminate them all, but you've got to reduce the amount of possible complaints.
I should just not do it so I can't say, oh, it's plate's fine. No, because then
See how this works. No swearing, we're on YouTube. Oh, this is a lot easier than using the tinsmiths. Yeah, just take it easy. Okay guys, so I've got these eyebrow moulds made up for the front of the guards, and they look fairly close. To be honest, this one here, this one I welded all the seams from the outside and plenished it, and it came up the best. But when I started doing the second one, I thought maybe I should, you know, weld on the inside. That way I won't have to plenish the weld. But it kind of ended up a bit wonky. So I did that inside edge from the inside, but the outside one, I welded it from the outside and then just plenished it off. The only reason I thought weld it from the inside is, and not have to grind the weld off, is because that way, you know, you get the full strength and you're not going to, you know, it's not going to possibly separate. But I think it'll be fine. I mean, this one here, it was all kind of like, you know, tacked fairly closely inside, then welded on the outside. I don't see the seam splitting or anything, so hopefully it should be all right. So the next stage is I'll go ahead and tack them on the car, see how they look. Alright guys, we're all finished now. We've got the eyebrow moulds welded on and they've been plenished and it's looking pretty good. I'm going to need a little bit of filler. I'm not sure how to say that. Even the thing with the original die cast eyebrow moulds, a lot of them never really fitted properly. You had a lot of drama trying to get them, you know, flush with the outside of the guard and everything. So I've stylized these on some originals, and you know, I've done everything I could to try to get it as smooth as possible and yet keep its shape. And in some cases, yeah, like say on the top here, It's just a couple of mil lower than the actual guard, but that was, you know, in order to keep the bottom in line and keep the shape of it. So not too worried about that. I'll either do just a little bit of lead wiping over that later on when I do the bodywork, or just body filler. And same on the other side. Possibly the other side turned out a little bit better maybe, or I don't know, it's pretty much the same. It's mainly on the top that there's a little bit of a slight step. There's hardly anything actually, it's probably only a mil. It's more, you can see it more than you can feel it, to be honest. Yeah. So anyway, I think that's turned out all right. So the next part's going to be just to finish off the front of this bumper. Now that I've got these in place, I can use them as a guide to match the bumper into it. So I'll just fold up a few bits of sheet metal and yeah, go ahead and fix that up. So it's not really enough time in this episode for it, so I'll do that another time. So that's it for this time. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and like and share, and we'll see you next time.